You ever notice how your plan B always becomes the excuse to quit on plan A? That's the trap. The safety net feels smart, but most of the time it's just fear in disguise. Because here's the truth, when you know you've got a backup, you never give 100%, you hold back, you coast, you half commit, because deep down, you've already built an exit door. And exit doors kill dreams. Today, I want to talk about what happens when you burn the backup plan. Not reckless gambling, not throwing your life away, but real commitment, cutting the option of retreat and forcing yourself to step into the fire fully. I used to keep backup plans for everything. Jobs I hated. I'd keep my resume updated just in case. Projects I cared about. I'd tell myself, if it doesn't work, I'll pivot. Even relationships, I'd hold back pieces of myself, because what if it didn't last? But you know what that did? It kept me lukewarm. Never all in, always playing defense. It wasn't until I torched the backup plan that things actually started moving. Let's be real, the brain loves safety. It's wired to protect you. That's why people cling to comfort jobs, why they never start the business, why they don't take the leap. They call it being practical, but it's really being paralyzed. Think of explorers centuries ago, landed in Mexico and burned the ships. No retreat, no backup, victory or death. Extreme, absolutely. But it gave his men one option: move forward. And in your life, sometimes you need that same level of commitment. Now, let's be clear, I'm not saying quit your job today with no savings. That's stupidity, not courage. What I'm saying is, stop treating your dream like a side hustle forever. Stop hiding behind plan B when you know plan A is what you rebuilt for. Backup plans drain energy. You split your focus, you split your effort, and you trick yourself into thinking you're working on it when really, you're just circling the runway. I had a friend who wanted to start his own business. Brilliant guy, amazing ideas. But he never launched. Why? Because he always had a job just in case. Years went by and his dream stayed in a notebook. One day I asked him, what if there was no just in case? What if you had to make it work? He froze. He realized he'd been clinging to security instead of chasing freedom. And that's the lie. Security isn't real. The job you think is safe could disappear tomorrow. The backup plan you're holding onto, it's not security, it's a cage. Here's what happens when you burn the backup plan. First, your brain shifts. You stop thinking like a tourist and start thinking like an owner. There's no, let me try this out. There's only, I have to figure this out. Second, your energy triples. You stop leaking willpower on what ifs. Every ounce of focus goes to plan A and focus compounds. Third, your resilience spikes. When you have no choice, you find a way. You adapt. You hustle harder. You solve problems you never thought you could solve. And that's when growth kicks in. Look, fear is always going to whisper, keep a backup. Fear wants you safe, but safe doesn't change your life. Ask yourself, are you building a future, or are you babysitting a safety net? When I burned my backup plan, I felt naked at first, terrified. No net, no cushion, just me and my choices. But that's when I started to grow like never before. Because now failure wasn't an option, it was feedback. Every stumble became data, every setback became fuel. The challenge is this: are you willing to shut the door? Are you willing to delete the escape hatch? Because that's what burning the backup plan really means. Not that you'll never fail, but that you'll never run. Think about relationships. If you're halfway in, always wondering what if there's someone better, you'll never build trust. The moment you delete the dating apps, the moment you stop scanning for exits, that's when you actually build something real. Or fitness. If you say, well, if this diet doesn't work, I'll try another one, you've already lost. But when you say, no more diets, this is my lifestyle now, that's when your body changes. Or money. If you say, I'll try investing, but if it doesn't work, I'll just save, you'll never grow wealth. But when you commit to learning, testing, staying in the game, you build financial freedom. The magic is in the commitment. And here's the climax. Once you burn the backup plan, you discover something wild: you never needed it. You were always capable of more than you thought. The net wasn't protecting you, it was slowing you down. That's when you start living fully. No half-hearted effort, no split energy. Just you, your vision, and the grind that makes it real. So here's the summary. Fear whispers, what if it doesn't work? But the real question is, what if it does? And the only way to find out is to burn the backup plan. Because freedom doesn't come with safety nets. It comes when you bet on yourself with no exit doors. So, if you're ready to stop circling, stop hiding, stop halfway living like the match, burn the plan B and jump in. You'll be shocked at what happens when plan A is the only plan. Watch the next episode to see what stacking those choices really builds.